Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now.
So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly?
Some people now believe there's a deeper pattern behind how Diddy keeps dodging real consequences for these heavy accusations. They're pointing straight back to the same playbook he used during that messy 1999 club incident. The calculated distractions, the controlled narrative, the way he always seems to stay several steps ahead of the fallout. From the outside, it looks chaotic, but up close, it's starting to feel like a storyline he's shaping, not surviving.
As we going towards the boathouse, I look in the distance, and it's this man in all black. He's in all black. And he turns, and it looked like he had the white collar. I couldn't be sure, I couldn't be positive, but it looked like he had the white collar, because Puff said, yo, Gene, stay right here. And I stayed right there, and he kept on walking. So when Puff get directly to the dude, he gets down on his knees. When he gets down on his knees, this man takes something, and it seemed like it had smoke in it, and he started doing it around Puff. And then he went back and forth, and then he went up and down with it, sideways with it, then back around him. And then he put it down, and then he put his hand on Puff's head, and I guess he started, saying something. I don't even really know what he said, but I couldn't tell what he said. You understand what I'm saying? Long story short, I see Puff reach into this case. And when he reached into this case, he came out and you could see something white in his hand. I didn't know it was a bird. I didn't know what it was at first, but he threw it up in the air. And when he threw it in the air, the came straight back down like it was a brick and said, bow on the concrete. And I was like, oh, that was a dove, that was a bird.
And what's really heating up the conversation right now is how uneasy the people around him seem. It's like they're watching him walk away untouched, while they've already put distance between themselves. That tension has everyone asking who might get caught in the crossfire if things finally unravel. And naturally, one name always drifts back into the spotlight: Jay-Z. With old tensions, old alliances, and unanswered questions lingering for years. His name isn't circulating by coincidence.
Gets to get out, be with his family. They didn't really railroad him like they did R. Kelly.
Isn't that interesting how I've been saying that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Since 2022, I've been talking about acceptable monsters. Hand-selected, hand-picked. Tell me something. How does R. Kelly's music get snatched off the radio and Diddy's doesn't?
So why is he suddenly part of the narrative again? Jaguar Wright says the truth runs much deeper. She points to one defining moment between Diddy and Jay-Z, a moment she believes could tilt the entire balance of power in hip-hop. Beneath the polished images and curated headlines, she claims there's a quiet power struggle happening. Loyalty pulling against honesty. Protecting the legacy, fighting against exposing long-buried truths.
To Diddy. And baby, she wasn't lying, because Jaguar Wright was just on Piers Morgan exposing the out of Jay-Z. Jaguar Wright was calling out Jay-Z for his silence, saying that now he's gonna have no choice but to talk because he has connections with Diddy, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. She also said that she has victims that have video footage of these freak-offs and what they do to people, and she said that she saw what Jay-Z and Beyonce were allegedly doing to people. Jaguar Wright even said that Jay-Z is the one that allegedly set up R. Kelly because he knew everything that he was doing and he was doing the same shit. And she said that Jay-Z is the one that funded surviving R. Kelly because his best friend for years is Dream Hampton. And baby, she wasn't lying. Jay-Z and Dream Hampton have been friends for years.
Even with Diddy locked up, the pressure around him is tightening. And if he decides to fight back, he might start pulling others into the storm with him. According to the whispers, Jay-Z is near the top of that list. Jaguar Wright hints there's an even more explosive piece of the puzzle connected to Diddy's alleged tactics, something that still hasn't been revealed, but could shake the industry harder than anything that's come out so far.
But it's another thing when you look at it for what, in my opinion, I believe it actually is.
And what is it?
Demonic, ritualistic behaviors, humiliation rituals. Offerings to the devil.
We were just talking about that. Revelation 17. The mystery of Babylon. I don't think people really want to get into that when they talk about Mystery Babylon and the abominations and the rituals, the SEX rituals, the traffic to the, traffic jam.
I mean, we all know the saying that they have out here, right? They say that the music industry, the film industry, Hollywood and all that is the devil's playground. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. What about you? Leave it in the comments section. Let's talk about it, but let's also continue.
The selling of your body, all that stuff, mystery of Babylon, y'all.
Like, I want y'all to really think about what they were talking about. See, everybody was, the spreading of bodily fluids from one person to another, using one person as a receptacle, and then taking it from that person's body and then putting it and smearing it all over. Like these.
To understand how things got this intense, you have to go back to when Jay-Z and Diddy sat at the top of the hip-hop world. Not just dominating music, but shaping the culture around it. Roc Nation and Bad Boy weren't just labels, they were empires. Their legendary gatherings signaled unity, power, and absolute influence. But Jaguar Wright says their alliance wasn't built only on friendship. It was cemented by private truths, the kind that could tear everything apart if they were ever dragged into the light.
CIA agent like Jeffrey Epstein, I watched that in a video or something, and it's possible that he came in the game young, because I heard that a story of Gene Deal saying that Diddy had to go meet with the feds. He don't know what it was about, and it was in his earlier part of his career. I wonder if he could have been working with him for all these years. Who knows? Let's talk about it in the comments, but we're going to continue.
SEX magic. Sure enough. Yeah, Jay-Z, he wears the Aleister Crowley t-shirts.
Well, I got dragged.
He had a line of his own clothing. Like, I want you to really think about this.
I got dragged for bringing that to people's attention. They were like, oh yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist because he said, I'm like, no, that's what he wore. And he was with Abramovich. Like, yeah, y'all gotta, who you hang with is who you are.
I'm still trying to understand how people want to sit there and talk about me, and he's sitting there frontal lobe to frontal lobe with a known witch. And people don't question.
And the funny thing is
thou wilt. Yeah.
The funny thing is when you talk about witches, and I'm still not going to go in on this this raccoon of a content creator who decided to, shout you out one minute and then try to drag you for going on a platform and saying, you said about witchcraft takes one to know one, and he just automatic, you a witch. So the thing is that's another smear campaign, your credibility, and then they go after your.
You want to know what's funny?
I don't want to say religiosity. What is it?
What is what?
No, I'm saying they go.
Wright even suggested that Diddy's strongest move might be to spill everything, to turn the truth into leverage, expose the hidden ties, reveal the networks that have shielded powerful names for years, and negotiate his own escape by forcing the industry to confront its own buried darkness.
Jay-Z and Diddy, and nobody believed her. I remember her very first interview years ago saying how Diddy was a trafficker, and everybody thought she was crazy and everybody ridiculed everything she had to say. Well, now does she seem crazy? What I love about Jaguar Wright is watching her time and time again get vindicated on things that she says. Like, it was so crazy back then that nobody wanted to believe it, but now that we are seeing things come to light, how crazy is it actually? I've always been the type that can't stand when people are called crazy because the things that they are saying are hard for a person to believe. This doesn't make a person crazy, and these people wouldn't be saying these things for no reason. We watch it happen time and time again with these situations, just like Cat Williams, just like Michael Jackson, just like Aaron Carter, and even Kanye. I really feel like in 2024, everybody has woken up and seen that all of these people saying this throughout the years, they're not crazy. They're not saying all of this for no reason, and it's something that I've known for years. Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now. She's even talked about Jay-Z's alleged relationships with younger people in the past, such as Aaliyah, such as Foxy Brown, such as Rihanna, and even beyond.
One story Wright insists has to resurface is that of Kathy Karana White, a woman she claims had ties to Jay-Z and was allegedly expecting his child. According to Wright, Kathy died just a day after purportedly planning to go public. She believes this detail is crucial for understanding the forces and quiet dynamics that have kept certain industry secrets locked away for so long.
She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think, and maybe he just had to clean it up?
Wright's claims intensify here, alleging that both Diddy and Jay-Z know exactly what happened to Kathy, and that Diddy could expose everything if he ever chose to work with investigators. But whether he would is a different question. She points to early signs of friction years ago. Jay-Z skipping a major event for Diddy, Diddy subtly returning the slight later. In a world where every move is a message, those quiet gestures spoke volumes. Roger Bonds, Diddy's former head of security, later added fuel to the conversation, hinting that far more was boiling under the surface than the public ever realized.
Not close at all or whatever else. Did you see the two of them interact a lot?
I seen them interact, but I wouldn't say they was close. I believe Puff felt they was close.
Oh.
But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock used to talk about, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much. You know what I'm saying? Because you be like, we done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch. But Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. You know, now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like at the end of the day, in our mind, we say, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a tote pole. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, you know. Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up. You know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out here too. More or less than we're tight friends. I look at it as two people that's getting money because they did have some businesses together, and we did have to go to some meetings together, and it was like, this is how far it goes, but we're not friends. You know what I'm saying? Like people ask me that all the time. I mean, Jay ain't really with Puff. It was no personal into it. It would be like if Ron Burgos is flying from LA on his jet, but Jay-Z just so happens to be going to New York too. We all end up on the jet flying back, those type of things, but nothing to go out his way into. If we in a club, you might be downtown at bed or something like that. Jay-Z might be there, so they end up at the same table, you know what I'm saying? And it was times where I listen to the records now where Jay-Z said, yo, why should I drink Ciroc when why should I drink Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc? This is something new that just started happening because I remember we almost got into a big altercation with Pecos and them because...
Sean Pecos?
Yeah, because Puff was there and Jay and them was there and they had a bunch of Grey Goose bottles come to the table. And Puff felt like, yo, that was disrespectful, and he knocked over the Grey Goose bottles, you know?
Jaguar Wright hasn't let the conversation around Jay-Z and Diddy fade. She keeps bringing her claims back into the spotlight, comparing their alleged power and protection to the way major figures tied to infamous scandals, from Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein to R. Kelly and Diddy himself, operated. She describes Jay-Z as someone who maintained an untouchable image while quietly navigating the fallout around him, staying just outside the blast zone, while still playing a major role behind the scenes.
Acting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what.
Careers shaped from the shadows, culture steered without ever stepping into the spotlight, and that, according to Jaguar Wright, is exactly why she believes Diddy could eventually flip on Jay-Z. When survival becomes the only priority, the sharpest weapon is the secret no one ever expected to surface. Her claims might sound extreme to some, but she refuses to back down. She insists she's been warning the public for years, arguing that both Diddy and Jay-Z held onto power through pressure, control, and perfectly crafted narratives that shape the culture in ways people still haven't fully grasped.
That he may start revealing things about other people.
He has no choice. His ego and his addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not gonna talk is crazy. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done.
Whether Jaguar's claims hold weight or not, they've reignited one of hip-hop's most heated debates. How much truth has been buried under fame, money, and decades of silence? And she's definitely not the only one dissecting the Diddy-Jay-Z connection. Asino highlighted one detail that stands out in Diddy's downfall: how quickly those closest to him stepped away, Jay-Z especially. These were 2 men who climbed from nothing, built empires, and reshaped the culture together. But the moment the pressure hit Diddy, Jay-Z seemed to step back instantly, guarding his image as if he'd sensed the coming storm long before the public did.
My videos are being heavily suppressed. You know, I gotta read you guys this. It's funny. It's like they really want to corral everywhere I go and who I talk to and what I say. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't have it in here. I sent myself the wrong one. No, that was a long. Oh, but then there is this. Oh, did you see this? Have you seen this? Yeah. Jaguar Wright, almost unalived by Diddy's hitman. Noah Jacob, TV. I shouted him out once before. I guess they paid you real good. You fake Christian piece of crap. Bearing false witness. You call yourself a Christian? Bearing false witness, you stupid little kid. Because if you think I'm not going to come after your platform, and if you think I'm not going to make sure that everybody goes to your platform and report you for the lies you told, with your AI evidence video that you put up.
Yeah.
Do you know what the video said? That number one, it said Diddy's hitman, but I thought Diddy and Jay-Z wasn't.
And even though the internet is full of photos of them partying and pulling up at huge events side by side, Jay-Z suddenly began presenting their relationship as distant. Every mention of Diddy became strictly professional. Osino says Jay's tone shifted, cold, calculated, almost dismissive, like we just happen to be in the same circles, that's it. To him, this wasn't betrayal, it was self-preservation. He knew staying publicly tied to Diddy while everything was collapsing could drag him into the chaos. Now, new claims suggest Jay-Z's alleged associations with known informants are being examined too, hinting that he may have been quietly rearranging pieces behind the scenes while keeping just close enough to track the fallout around Diddy.
He's not going to be able to do none of the stuff he was doing before, though, as far as business-wise.
Look, Puff Daddy and Jay-Z were considered peers at one point. Now, Jay-Z and Diddy are not talked about in the same
Jay-Z
sentence.
got the fuck away from that shit fast. Yo, said,
Jay-Z was like, yeah, I don't know him. I know him, but not like that.
Yo, the niggas got like 80 pictures together, all type of parties.
I know, of course they know each other.
Hov said, listen, I don't know. Hov said, you know, Hov ain't going for Hov. Like, I don't know, boy. We was together a couple times. I don't know, boy. I don't got nothing to do with that.
Inside the industry, Perez's past is no secret. She openly cooperated with federal investigators in a major case years ago, something on record and widely acknowledged. For Asino, it's wild to think someone with that background ended up running Roc Nation under a mogul known for projecting street credibility. It raises bigger questions about federal ties, silent oversight, and who really knows what. Gandil adds that whatever's happening around Diddy likely reaches far beyond one man, hinting at a deeper, unseen network operating far outside public view.
Kanye West concerned.
Here's the thing, right? Kanye, and I know some of the people around him, it's like Kanye can no longer do a lot of things he could do before.
Like what?
He can't tour in Europe. He can't tour in America. He has to go to like China, South Korea, like Brazil. There's only a few places in the world that'll book him. He can't even go into Australia. Like Australia said that the Hail Hitler song got him banned to even enter the country, even though his wife is Australian. He wasn't even trying to perform. They wouldn't even let him in the country. Listen, you start doing songs like Hail Hitler, you become a symbol of hatred to the world.
That's the worst. That's like one of the worst people you could ever try.
You know, I interviewed the dude that wrote that song, Dave Blunts. You know, the big...
Okay, what's that? Write this song?
Nah, well, he performed it though. I mean, it's still his song. But yeah, no, Dave Blunts wrote it. He also wrote the cousin song, the one about giving his cousin head. And I asked him, I'm like...
So who's this guy? Who's this guy that wrote the songs? Is he...
Dave Blunts. He's like the 600-pound rapper.
Tapes, and I want you to give more clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they wanted these tapes. What do you think is on these tapes?
Bro, you got to realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that, now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what's that, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now I ain't talking about the freak off party part of it, but I'm just saying, he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody wanted to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything.
And if these claims unravel the way some insiders predict, if more big names start tumbling, it could clear the path for Jay-Z and Beyonce to strengthen their grip on the business side of the industry, with fewer rivals blocking their rise. Still, plenty of people believe Jay-Z may face his own reckoning someday, though maybe not anytime soon. He's shielded by powerful layers, and it reportedly took years just to gather enough force to come after Diddy. Observers note that Jay has never hesitated to cut ties when it serves his interests. And if Diddy ever chooses to speak openly, Jay-Z could find himself pulled directly into the flames. At this point, many can't help but wonder, is all of this part of a long, calculated push for complete control?